What's up, buddy buddies, and welcome to Real Fun Times with Snowy. That's me.
And the doctor, that's me.
I am delighted to be leading and talking about the movie that we're going to discuss this week.
You have a hell of a lead here.
I do. This was your pick.
Got lucky with this one.
Yeah, we did. I got 68 days till my scary movie group starts, which hopefully you're going to join us.
I'm going to try.
Okay,
absolutely.
this year. And so we're talking about, like, you know what a planner I am, especially when it comes to parties. I'm just like, I was already
Ready to go.
I was like on orientaltradingcompany.com, like looking at like all the things I could buy and concession stuff. And
amazing.
So, yeah, I'm super excited.
You're a prepper.
I
like
am.
to get ready for things.
I am. And I do have, like, downstairs in my garage, I do have like a bunch of water, a bunch of like a couple things, but I need to like renew my Costco membership and just have, plus when we have hurricanes here, it's just nice to have it and not have to think about it.
We do. I'm always that last minute shopper in the huge line wanting to kill myself. Why didn't I do this last week when we first heard about the storm? Why didn't I wait till the day of the storm when the shelves are empty? Not an egg or a carton of milk to be seen.
Not to be seen.
I don't drink a lot of milk, but I do like my eggs.
I do. I enjoy an egg. Well.
What's your favorite type of egg?
Ooh. Okay. I make a scrambled egg with a jalapeno pimento cheese and onions and red peppers that is to die. So I really like that. But I love a fried hard on the bottom, so crispy bottom, sunny side up egg.
Love
that.
A
runny.
But it's tough to execute. I'm picky about my eggs, and I don't think I've had a lot of successful. I prefer to fry my own. If I'm at the restaurant, I'm going scrambled because I don't trust them.
I find most restaurant scrambles end up being tough and chewy, and I can't fucks with that.
Right.
So I'm like, give it to me poached.
Oh. Well, welcome to Egg Hour.
And
how do you like your huevos?
I could talk about this all day. Like, let's talk egg. We'll do a mini-sode about fucking eggs. It'll be 3 hours long. It'll be a three-part mini-sode about eggs.
It's not unusual for, like, as a family thing that we do in the Colombian side. Not unusual if you don't have a lot in the fridge to throw some rice, some beans, and a quick fried egg on, and that's your meal.
That sounds perfect. I love that.
Like,
I like this is gourmet.
Maybe get a little slice of avocado on there.
It.
Oh my goodness.
Hot sauce. I love it.
Oh, snap. I'm new to the hot sauce. I didn't know.
Well, as much as I'd love to continue talking about eggs, and I know that you would.
I'm hungry. We might need to change subjects.
We should probably move into the movie.
Yes.
Which is the Lifetime original 2015, A Deadly Adoption. According to IMDb, a distance couple decide to take in a seemingly innocent pregnant woman in hopes of adopting her unborn child. However, there's more to a book than its cover.
Ooh, IMDb, I like it.
Oh my God, I have a fun fact for you before we start.
Oh
my God,
please.
I forgot. Oh my God.
I would love one.
I apologize. So, the Lifetime channel was created as a female positive channel in 1984.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was that old.
Mm-hmm. In fact, this movie was part of their 25th anniversary Lifetime celebration.
Oh, they chose well.
Yes, they did. Their first movie was in 1990 called Memories of a Murder.
Love it.
And they refer to Melissa Joan Hart, Clarissa, as their Christmas queen because she's in so many Christmas movies for them, as Candace Cameron Bure is for the Hallmark Channel.
Amazing. Who knew?
Not I, until today. So shall we get into some preview talk?
Let's do it.
All right. The preview song. Let's get some previews. This movie, Deadly Adoption, was directed by Rachel Lee Goldenberg and written by Andrew Steele, which almost sounds like a little bit like porny, doesn't it?
A little bit.
IMDb gives this movie a 5.1 out of 10.
Not bad.
I was actually kind of surprised.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes, a 14% on the tomato meter. A 24% audience score.
Oh, the people didn't like it. I wonder if they just didn't get it.
looking at the couple of reviews that I saw just on IMDb, it's like people didn't.
They
Like,
didn't
people
get
it's
they
like
weren't in on
it's
the
like
joke.
yeah, they weren't, and it's like, well,
That's a shame
yeah, it
because
is.
if you're not in on this joke, you're missing everything.
Metacritic gives this a 44 Metascore.
Wow.
So, cast talk.
Ooh.
Cast talk.
Oh. New segment, you guys.
All right, so we've got Will Ferrell playing Robert Benson. Everybody knows who Will Ferrell is.
Will Ferrell, the man, the legend.
Yeah, started off on SNL, freaking hilarious. Talladega Nights, Anchorman 1 and 2, The Lego Movie, Zoolander, Megamind, Elf, Step Brothers, Stranger Than Fiction, which is probably my favorite Will Ferrell movie. I love that movie so much.
Great movie.
I've got a fun story about Will Ferrell. A buddy of mine was running around a local track here in Raleigh one day, just running. And all of a sudden, a guy runs up beside him and says, "May I keep pace with you?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure."
All right, weirdo.
It was Will Ferrell.
Oh, wow.
And my buddy, he's kind of an awkward turtle.
Sure.
And so, like, once he realized it was him, he was like, meh.
Of
And, like,
course.
didn't, and when they were done, like, Will Ferrell was like, "Thank you so much.
He
I really appreciate it."
appreciated it that he
Yeah.
was super chill.
Yeah, because, like, Cam was, like, not gonna be like, "Oh, what's up?" Like, he was just like, "Bah!" And
I
I
would
thought,
trip, fall on my face,
yeah.
have a major injury.
I'd be like, "I'm really slow, dude. You don't want to keep pace with me."
You're gonna have to do that thing where
I'm
you go
slow and I'm
left.
weak. We had Kristen Wiig playing Sarah Benson, obviously
Another
another
legend.
SNL alum. Bridesmaids, Skeleton Twins. Have you ever seen Skeleton Twins?
I have. It was really good. Dark.
My boy Bill Hader, who is
Mhm.
my life, my love. He's the best thing in the whole world to me. Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar, which I can't
I
wait.
just rewatched that this weekend.
Again?
Yes.
With-
I couldn't wait.
You gotta wait for me.
I'm gonna this time.
No mas.
No mas. No mas.
The Wonder Woman 1984, which I've still not watched, but she plays like the bad guy, right?
Oh boy, Snowy, you haven't seen that and her performance in it?
I keep putting it off because I'm scared to, because I enjoyed the first Wonder Woman, like, to a degree.
I'm not gonna blast it like everyone else did. I didn't enjoy it.
They should have never brought Chris Pine back, first and fucking foremost.
Some of his scenes were okay. I thought Gal Gadot was just okay. Like, to me, it was a significant step down.
It was a drop down, right?
Significant.
Not that I mind Chris Pine. Don't get it. He died. That was the whole thing. That's why no.
You'll see. And what they have to do to make it work. And it was particularly Kristen Wiig's performance in this. It felt like she was in a completely different movie. And I was very confused by it. I think it's definitely worth a free watch. But yeah, just be ready for it to not be as great as you want it to be.
Oh yeah, I've already. That's why I put it off so long, because I
Yeah.
knew it was going to be kind of shitty. Kristen Wiig was also in Mastermind. She and Will Ferrell have actually been in like 4 or 5 movies
Yeah.
together. Spoils of Babylon, another one they've both been in. Despicable Me, Paul, and Her. I didn't realize she was a voice in Her. That Joaquin Phoenix movie, which I really enjoyed, where he kind of falls in love with
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
As his
computer
Apple
friend.
phone person.
Yeah. This is Alexa. I don't know. We had Jessica Lowndes. I guess that's how you say her last name. She was Bridget.
Oh.
Alma
No, I already got it
Sibilinda.
wrong.
Yeah.
In my mind, she's Crazy Joni.
That pregnant bitch. Like, so I guess it seems like, looking at her resume, she constantly does Lifetime Hallmark-esque movies. Now, she was...
that character?
Mhm.
Well, that may have even been
It's just-
more tongue-in-cheek. That they would bring one of their
regulars.
regulars.
She was a regular on the 90210 reboot. She had
I didn't
a
see that
recurring...
one.
No, nor did I. Let me read to you some of the things that she has been in, though.
Okay.
Kite Festival of Love. Mix Up in the Mediterranean.
Oh, boy.
Colors of Love.
Oh, boy.
Over the Moon in Love.
Oh, boy.
Yes, comma, I do. Christmas at Pemberley Manor. A December Bride. Merry Matrimony.
Merry Matrimony?
To name a few.
M-A-R-R or M-E-R-R?
It was M-E-R-R-Y. Matrimony.
Ugh,
Even
even
if they-
worse.
I don't know. I think if they try to be like Mary, M-A-R, with the matrimony, I think I might have to go burn that studio
Yeah,
down.
it's pretty bad.
All 3 of our listeners come with us.
Wow, she's got herself a little niche there.
She definitely does. But hey, I mean, if it pays the bills and you enjoy doing
She
it, who
seems good
cares?
at
Yeah.
it.
I mean, she
She seems good
definitely,
at
yeah,
this.
it's definitely works for her.
This
Like,
is her world.
we've got Olivia Allen Lind playing Sully. She was a little girl. She was
Oh,
little baby
Sully.
diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Baby diabetes. That's genius.
she had a recurring role in Young and the Restless,
She
Future
was pretty
Man.
good.
She was definitely
She was
like
a
one of the
good little
better. Yeah,
actress.
she definitely was. She was in the show Masters of Sex. Like she was like a kid on the show, I assume. I
Yikes.
hope so. Revenge, and then she was in a movie called Walk, Ride, Rodeo. Pow
Hmm.
pow.
I bet she had like spurs,
Oh,
a cowboy
I
hat.
hope so. It was too big for her head in the beginning, and by the end
Yeah,
it fit. Like
awesome.
Jake Weary played Dwayne. I didn't. That was Tattooed Boyfriend.
Oh, I
I didn't know
called
his
him
name was Wade.
Pacey.
Yeah, I call him Poor Man's Pacey. He was in It Chapter 2. He was in It Follows.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Because his face did seem
Yeah,
familiar, and he nailed this role.
for sure. Like he's
Really, everyone nailed
yeah,
their
they did what they were
roles.
supposed to. Like they really did.
I ate it up.
He was in Zombievers and As the World Turns. Eric Palladino was Hot Cop,
Oh
Hot
yes,
Sheriff. Yeah,
he's in
and he
stuff.
plays almost, I feel like, exclusively law enforcement. Like looking at
Does he?
his
That works for me.
events, like NCIS Los Angeles, Suit, 666 Park Avenue, NCIS, Rizzoli and Isles, Criminal Minds. He did have a recurring role in ER for a long time. He was there only, I think, 2 or 3
Okay.
seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And he was also in the movie Can't Hardly Wait, which I love. Brian Safi played the gay
The
bestie.
buddy.
Yeah,
Charlie.
Charlie. Thank you. Which I guess is kind of a niche role for him because I mean, like I feel like he just I believe he's a gay man like in real
Oh,
life.
he nailed it.
Yeah.
Believable.
But he also I feel like he played the most annoying gay man. Like he wasn't a
He was
gay man
going
I
for
really
that.
enjoyed.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Kalita Smith was the other cop. You said you were like, oh, she looks familiar. Probably because she was in Sharknado 3 and she was in Z Nation.
Really? Oh, I know her from Z Nation.
And that's all I've got for Cast Talk.
That was amazing cast talks.
Thank you so much. I've got a lot of fun facts coming your way during this episode. So
I am
stay tuned.
super stoked to talk A Deadly Adoption with you. We enjoyed the shit out of this movie.
Yeah, it's.
But let's talk about what happens.
Yeah. So where do we start with the movie?
So I've got that Ferrell and Wig are a couple, and they're celebrating their kid's 1 year birthday. He's a famous author that
Financial
does
advisor.
financial stuff. We don't know yet, but they seem very happy together. It's a beautiful place. She's down, or he's having a conversation with the buddies. She's down by the dock. All of a sudden, she's like, "Hey, let's go on the boat."
Captain Robert Benson, I want to go on the boat.
She gets a bee in her bonnet about going in this boat.
She does.
But here's the thing. That's kind of a weird time. They're in the
It's
middle of this
rude.
party.
You're entertaining.
And she's like, "Let's skip the party and let's go on the
fuck
boat."
you
Like,
guys.
that's Will was right here.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that he was worried about the dock because it was rotten.
Mm-hmm.
Well, calamity ensues.
Oh no.
Because what happens?
The bitch falls.
Falls right into the fucking lake.
Backwards,
hits her head.
hilarious. Will jumps in, this great big splash, like plow.
Yeah. They're playing it straight, but there's something about it that's just so brilliant.
Yeah.
The way that they're playing. And I mean all of it. The characters, the writing. It was produced well. It looked good.
He was one of the executive producers.
It was even written, I would say, pretty tight little story we got going on here. So she bites it. He hops in there after her, gets her out of there, CPRs her.
But it's mostly talking CPR. It's him kind of being like, "Please wake up, please wake up.
I
love you." Yeah.
And then they're at the hospital, and bad news. She loses the baby, but not only the baby, the ability to carry children at all.
As you do when you fall in a lake.
Well, it's little known lake fact. That's why pregnant people can't go swimming in lakes. It's kind of her fault. And that kind of sets up the story.
Yeah.
Next thing we know, we're, I want to say 6 months?
5 years later.
5 years. Okay. That makes more sense of a time gap. It's like, man, they hurried this long.
That little
That's
kid
what
grew
you
fast. Because at
guys
first you
need
were like,
time
who
to
is that
heal.
kid? Like it's their daughter.
I was very confused. Like they adopt this older child?
So we find out 5 years later that Robert, Will Ferrell, is sober but struggling with it. Kristen Wiig runs this like organic food tent at the farmer's market.
Now you mentioned he's sober because what happened is after the accident he went on a huge bender and then went out on book tour. Just shit went
Yeah.
bad.
Shit went awry. The little girl says that we find out that she has diabetes. Diabetes, I know it's how the fuck you say it, just to be fucking clear. And we learn that they are looking to adopt at this point, and they've been kind of like striking out, not really having good luck finding somebody to buy the baby, or I don't.
Right.
Is it-
That's how you say it.
Yeah.
So the aftermath of the accident for Farrell is he went on this crazy bender, but then overcorrected and kind of became a hermit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of
And he's crazy about like safety, just
so
everything.
crazy now. Yeah, especially with the kid and her
Mhm.
and her meds. And I guess there's I don't know a lot about this thing that she has, this
Oh,
diabetes that
that's
she has,
yeah.
but
She's
she
got a
has
pick line pretty
pump,
much. Yeah, like she has to constantly have
have
something. Yeah,
medicine in there.
put in her. Yeah.
But
So
yeah, you were mentioning that she's actually doing okay. She's got this
yeah,
whole
and like she's she hates what happened 5 years earlier, but like
she's
she's
growing
past it.
past
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
she's excited, but. And I had this problem in real life too. It's like maybe if we are able to get a second child, maybe if we had this baby, things are going to be normal.
Yeah.
But a baby's not going to save your shit. Like,
No, that's an age-old mistake.
yeah, that is poor planning.
So they've decided to go the surrogacy route.
Mm-hmm. And so they're going to meet somebody tomorrow. Apparently, like they hear that, oh, she's really excited to meet them.
Yeah, I noticed that on the rewatch how subtle some of these little hints were.
Mm-hmm. And so the next day, we meet the expectant mother.
That's right. Which
She's,
I labeled as smoking hot.
I mean, she was like, she's fucking gorgeous. Has a penchant for like super like low cut dresses, low cut short dresses. I mean, she's a complete babe. Like,
and is hot for Ferrell.
from the jump.
One, you could see it. That's why I was really appreciative of her, and I can see now that's her bread and butter. She does this all the time. She was so good at expressing crazy hot for him.
Yeah. Because even when she made that face when we were watching, I looked at you and I was like, I wish a bitch would look at my significant other like that.
Right
Because
in front of me.
like, I will, baby,
Like,
you're
the
not, I'm
fact
going to break
that
you in
this
half.
didn't stop immediately. Like,
Yeah.
not this one. Thanks, though.
Like, ooh, it's not going to work. Turn around. Like, we don't
Which
even.
I only caught this on the rewatch. She kills the
Me
lady.
too. Yeah, I know. I didn't
had
catch that
no
till the second time. Right? Because I was
idea.
like, is she in on it too? That was from her.
That's
my early
what I thought.
notes.
Like it was her weird aunt or something.
Yeah, who's
no,
she's in on it.
she
No,
fucking
they
killed her.
Oh my God.
We're jumping ahead, guys, but
Sorry,
that comes back. That comes back.
I do want to say when they come to the house and Kristen Wiig's like, "Can I get y'all anything?" And she's like, "I just had fries and shakes." And the lady was like, "I'll have coffee." Then they go straight to the tea kettle and then they gives her coffee. I'm like, "Did you give her instant coffee?"
Oh,
that is rude.
That's a good catch.
Don't give me instant coffee if I come to your home. Speaking of coffee, I was texting with my buddy Michael this morning, and he was telling me about there's this company called Bones Coffee. Have you ever heard of it? The flavors look incredible.
Like what?
They have a macadamia nut and coconut.
Ooh,
right?
Those are two great nuts.
I know, but not my
Two
favorite.
nuts in one cup.
Ew. Too far. Gross. Automatically, so Will's kind of smitten with her too. Like he sees her and like he kind of gives her a weird look when he first sees her. Like
I
there's
missed that on
there's a little bit of
tiny bit
recognition,
of
but kind of like
it goes so
probably,
fast.
Yeah,
goes so fast.
And then she goes outside, and then she automatically sees the kid, and she's like, "Where's your helmet?"
Very bossy with Sully right away.
And I was like, "You don't talk to my kid." Like,
but those parents seem to be like appreciative of it. And they're like, "Oh, she'll get along." Or
and then they're talking to the adoption lady, and he's like, "I'm gonna jump ahead of my wife here. Do you want to live with us?" And you and I were like, "I never."
No way.
Are you kidding me?
But Wiggs was like, "Okay."
Yeah, and she's like, like smiling knowingly, like
she's on board and happy to go. Like, There is no suspicion in her body about this
Don't be
lady.
suspicious. Don't
Don't
be
be suspicious.
suspicious.
So 1, 2, 3, Bridget is moved in.
Yeah. Three's company too. Like, I can't come and knock on a
That's
door.
exactly
And the little girl at
Please
first.
hold. Okay.
This is a very sing-songy episode. Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
it turned off immediately. Very low downloads. We do apologize.
And Will's got a habit of sitting and just staring at the dock.
Yeah, he's developed some bad habits. He definitely has turned all of this inward. He feels really bad about everything that happened and completely blames himself. Is just tortured by it
Mm-hmm.
all these years later. And Wig's kind of like,
Like, it's
let
fine.
bygones be bygones.
Yeah.
We'll get over it.
Yeah,
Let's move
yeah.
on. She's very healthy, very positive about it. Okay, so we had said that she gives us the bad vibes right away, and I wrote down the bad vibes. 1, she's super into Ferrell.
Yep.
2, she breaks that frame with their picture in it.
Yeah.
And 3, she talks them into living with her right away
Mm-hmm.
because she's in a homeless shelter.
Just shelter. And Kristen Wiig's like, is it like okay? And it's like, what do you... And yeah, I think I made a joke when we were watching it about the lazy river. I was like, the jets aren't fast enough, but you know, like it'll be okay. Like, oh, and this bitch, she moves in and comes down to breakfast in a nighty. How dare you?
But he's still kind of like not really paying attention. Kind of, I'm the big goofy dad.
Yeah.
Have we talked about his ever-changing hair?
No, we haven't talked about that
Oh
yet.
my God, hilarious. It starts curly, but doesn't end up that way.
Yeah, it's this weird progression of like
matted down, like
longer, like it was like, can they
longer
give him a
but
different
shorter in a weird
wispy, like by the end he gets a little BG-esque, like
Yes. So yeah, this bitch moves in, hits it off with Sully, the kid,
mhm.
besties right away. And so they're like, yeah, we'll come hang out with you later and grab lunch. Cause she's Wig, she's a working lady.
Yeah.
She's got that organic produce stand with baked goods
Mhm.
and thinking of opening 2 more in different cities. She and her
She's
partner
got
Charlie,
plans.
who we loved. I liked him. You didn't like him? Because he was
too
typically gay, or
it wasn't, I mean, like, many of my good friends are typically gay. Yeah, there was something, there was just, he was annoying.
A little flat
like
for
he was too much. Like, I even have Charlie is too much in my notes.
I
like when-
liked that part of Charlie.
When he was like, you're gonna be saying too much of me.
Yeah.
I
love that as a bystander, like watching him do it to her, but I wouldn't want him to do it to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, I'm crazy.
Yeah. No, or when he sees her in the coffee shop and he was like, she'll spit in your drink. he's like wanted for
You're
murder
right.
or whatever. He's like, he's just too much.
He is a
Like,
little much.
and I've seen the guy act in other things. I like him as an actor. He's not a bad actor. I just really hated the character. Yeah.
What can you do?
What can you do, indeed?
And then more shady stuff happens. You want to hear more shady stuff?
What do you have with shady stuff?
Here's what I have. She texts someone, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
She
I
tears.
have, but who?
I love it. She tears Wig's face off of a magazine cover.
Yeah.
And that's something I love about this movie is like, because of the joke, I mean, I feel like on purpose, they're showing us stuff miles ahead,
Mhm.
right? There's no secrets. We're not confused as to what's happening,
Right.
but they do it in a fun way.
I agree.
And then finally, she hits on Ferrell day 1. And then I put arrow. Can you guess what is at the other side of the arrow?
Skank.
Sunscreen.
Oh.
So he's working and she
Knock, knock, knock.
slides in there.
I love your shoulder moves. I wish this was being
That's
recorded.
what I do when I'm being sexy. They little known fact wanted me to play Bridget,
Oh,
but I was
shit.
busy that summer,
Mm.
so I couldn't commit to the
Well,
role.
maybe next time, maybe for the sequel.
But I did practice those moves.
I
A
did.
Deadly Adoption Part 2. Hilarious. It's Sully's turn. She gets all fucked in the head from everything that happened, becomes the next Bridget.
God, why don't we write fucking
We
movies
should
and
write
shit?
stuff.
One of the best parts of the sunblock scene when she like knocks on his door and she's like, "Am I bothering you? Oh, I'm bothering you. I'm bothering you." And then she says, "It must get hard." And then he was like, "It is sometimes." And you and I are like fucking 12-year-old boys and we're
Dying.
like loving it. So she does this whole weird thing where he shows her where the sunblock is and like she
They're
moves
standing so close together in that
and she
fucking
moves
tiny
it so like he
closet.
has to kind of reach past her. She turns around like bosom ablaze and it's just like, "Oh, thank you so much."
And they have a little moment where they're really close face to face. They're about to make out and he like gathers his composure.
Mm. I have to say, and I don't say this proudly, there were things, especially on the rewatch, that I noticed that she did, and I was picking up on them because I've done them to like they're not like ever kidnapped a child or anything like that.
Thank
Like
God,
that
Snowy,
latter
thank you for
part,
clarifying that part.
but just the whole like, "Oh, like I need help. I need
Oh, can you reach that?
like my 5'10" ass, can you reach it? Like, get the fuck out of here. I got this. Like
You
but
saw
it's
some moves that you
I
recognized.
did, and I was like, "I'm a hoe."
You're a Joni. Joni's straight crazy.
Yeah, I'm not crazy.
She's got crazy eyes.
I'm not crazy.
Okay. So I've got here that Wig's completely oblivious to everything that's going on back at home and to her weird vibes, but Charlie picks up on it.
Mm-hmm.
Real slow at first. He was real into it, friendly, and
Yeah.
happy to, but something triggered for him. And later, when they have that little run-in in the coffee store, the coffee shop,
Mhm.
coffee store,
Coffee store.
that suspicion deepens.
I will.
My notes are so ridiculous for this episode, you guys.
I will say the one thing where Kristen Wiig there's a exchange between her and Will Ferrell at the dinner table when old girl Bridget is talking about the boyfriend she used to have, and he would make me sit in a bikini on the front of the boat to show me off at the lake. And Kristen Wiig looks at Will Ferrell like this.
Are you
bitch.
fucking serious?
It's just a glance.
Yes.
But I was like, I feel you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Fucking love Kristen Wiig.
She's great.
She's a gem.
Yeah. And she's so cute. I loved her hair in this movie. I was
She's
like,
very cute.
she's adorable. Did you ever see the SNL sketch when she was in called Red Flag? It was one of the commercials. It's like she shows up and she looks beautiful. She's in this red flowing dress, and there's all these like all the guys are dressed up in tuxes and looking all handsome. And then she comes up to them and does like real fucked up stuff, and it's like, what's she wearing? Red flag. And it's
That's
such
hilarious.
a brilliant.
I'm gonna YouTube it.
Yeah, you
I'll
need
tell
to.
you that much.
It's so funny. Well, the next thing we know, we see good old Bridget taking the training wheels off Sully's
Bike,
Yeah.
which Ferrell would not
He
be down
said,
with.
"No, no, 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 no."
When it's really no. Yeah, and it's the way they played this was so hilarious to me because she's like, "Are you sure that you can do it? You just gotta pedal," and then she pushes her right into oncoming traffic.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh God!" And then who do we meet? Poor man's Pacey.
Pacey with the tattoos. Now, I thought for a split second that Bridget did that shit on purpose.
I did too. I thought I was like, she's gonna, because we were like, "Oh my God, she's gonna kill the kid,"
which is ballsy.
Yeah.
But
Talk about
Lifetime
committing.
didn't quite have those balls, but it was still fun. She, instead of going straight into traffic, careens to the right. Bridget runs after her, and there's Pacey holding the bike. Now, I had a lot of fun with Pacey's tattoos.
They were so bad.
And I wrote a couple of them.
Oh.
Would you like to see?
I would love to know about those.
We have skull.
Mm-hmm.
We have bullets.
Uh-huh.
We have random numbers.
Mm-hmm.
We have a razor blade.
Mm-hmm.
A neck panther.
It was a panther. I thought it was a dancing bear.
Oh, maybe it was a dancing bear. Let's go with that. That's more jovial. And Cleopatra. Or some sort of Egyptian lady.
Okay, Egyptian lady. Got it.
I went with Cleopatra because I thought that gives him style. He fancy. So yeah, the bad guy shows up, right?
Mhm.
And
Um,
she's all like acting all meek around him, like,
yeah,
"You're not
you
supposed
can't
to
be
be
here. It's in the
here."
cabin.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she ends up talking to little baby Sully, and she's like, "This is a like pinky promise. Like we don't talk about this. You got to
Yeah,
promise. You got to
just like the
promise."
training wheels. Because if we tell your dad about
He's
those
gonna get
training wheels,
mad.
he's going to take your bike away forever. So probably don't want to do
Fucking
that, right, little girl?
shit. Like
So busted.
everybody that listens to this podcast and knows me knows how I don't care for children. You don't do little kids like that. Like that's, and
No.
I understand it's a movie, but it's like people. But I know people who would like. I've met people before who would kind of do that kind of crap to a kid. You know, who it's like, well, you don't tell because if they do, then like you're gonna get punished in this way. You're gonna do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're a garbage human. Go jump off a cliff.
Yeah, yeah. And the scars that leaves psychologically for
Oh my
kids
god,
is
right?
that's tough.
They'll never make a promise again. I think after this, we go to a scene where Will again is staring at the ducks in the lake. He's contemplating life and such. B comes down, like Bridget, she comes down, pretty much sits in his fucking lap.
Pretty much.
She's just
It
like,
wasn't a
oh,
big chair.
it was not. And he was like, I guess I should get over. And she's like, yeah. And he kind of just word vomits to her. And he's like, I blame my wife
I'm
for
mad
losing
at
the
her.
baby. Like it's on her. Like it's not.
Well, she made it really easy. She was like, petting, emotionally petting him and
Mhm.
like, oh, you're so wonderful and perfect and what's going on. So, I mean,
Yeah, yeah. And then right after the scene, there ends up being he and Kristen Wiig are talking, and she's like, "What's wrong with you?" And he says, quite possibly the best line of the movie, which is, "You know the dangers of diabetic ketoacidosis."
that's right. I'm so
Now,
glad you wrote that down because what I wrote down is that Farrell's obsessive fathering drives a wedge into the marriage.
how astute. Now, I don't deny the dangers of diabetic ketoacidosis. I'm not playing.
You don't?
I don't deny the
Don't fall
dangers.
into this trap. You guys, I will come against I'm in the forefront of
But
how's it go?
I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna tell
Damn
you.
it.
Just so, but it was just such a funny line because it was the delivery was so deadpan.
He delivered it perfectly, and I wondered how many takes it took.
So if I may deliver some fun facts very quickly.
Please.
So Will and Kristen secretly made this movie. It was announced on April 1st, on April Fool's Day, that this movie was going to come out. Now, it was inspired by a 2007 Lifetime movie called The Last Trimester. Um, and then it was also like they threw in two other stories that were true about a woman defrauding a couple and saying she was preggo and she wasn't.
Okay.
And the other where this gets dark. This gets a little dark. A man strangled his wife because he found out that she was planning on giving their unborn baby up for adoption.
Shit.
Yeah, it got real dark. I
That
told you. I
did-
told you. I
that-
told
that
you.
one did take a
I didn't. I
turn.
didn't like it. I was like,
Well, I'm glad they stuck
this
with
is
what
not
they
fun.
stuck with.
Yeah. And also, Will Ferrell said, "This was one of my favorite things that I have ever made, partly because it baffles about 80% of the audience."
I love that they love doing this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you can sense it.
Oh, yeah.
They were having a great time making this movie.
Such a good time.
And I think they nailed it.
They did a great job.
I would love to see a whole series of these with
Good
them in it.
God.
They don't even have to be the same characters, but just a version of these Lifetime ridiculousness.
They can do like Vivica A. Fox and those like what were those movies that I told you about that she was in? And it was like
Yes.
the wrong Mr.
Mhm.
Right and like the wrong principal,
Yes.
the wrong
A
supermarket.
whole series of Lifetime Will Ferrell, Kristen Wiig films would make me so happy.
I would tune into Lifetime far more often.
I'll subscribe.
What happens after this?
So-
After the ketoacidosis talk?
Bridget and Ferrell are continuing to hang out and bond, while Wig's out working the stands, and Charlie is going to get his morning coffee and spots Bridget and Pacey
Mm-hmm.
in their awesome old school truck having a heated argument.
Yes.
So things are starting to unravel for Bridget because not only does Charlie see them, little Sully sees something she's not supposed to see.
Mm-hmm. She sees Bridget wearing a fake fucking stomach.
Yep, she's Bridget's showering,
Mhm.
and for some reason, little girl decided to go peek, but she handled it pretty good
Yes.
because she went in there like, "Oh, well, here's the thing,
My stomach's not as big as I want it
and
to
so
be.
beautiful and tiny."
I can't.
So I don't want your mom and dad not to believe me because I'm definitely pregnant. So I
There's
have to use
definitely a
this.
baby.
And what can you not do?
Break a fucking pinky promise.
Fucking manipulating
What
left
a
and
skank.
right. And poor little Sully, she walks right into
Yeah.
it. She's like, okay,
Like,
best
okay,
friend forever. I get it. You and your tiny baby are going to be just fine.
Okay, cool. You're still carrying my little brother. I love it. Pretty shortly thereafter, Bridget realizes she's in a pickle.
She's sensing danger.
So she does a classic kid move, talks to each parent singularly, and is like, "Oh, well, so and so
The other
said
parent
this,"
said to do this.
and then it's like, "All right." And Will, he's working at home, and he's like, "I don't fucking buy it." He goes into her room, starts sifting through stuff. First, I thought he was gonna like beat it with her fucking little nighty.
Oh, God.
I was really uncomfortable.
Beat it.
And then he
Stumbles on the book.
stumbles in the book, and it says like to Joni, like, live your fucking dreams or some stupid something.
Do your finances right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And all of a sudden he
Boing.
remembers when he was, as you said at the beginning, he was going to Blackout Town, he was going on these book tours, and he remembers a lady that he met named Joni, and he
They had a
banged
special
her.
night together.
He said, "Pow, pow, splat."
Boom, boom town.
I like that. I'm going to use that. He immediately regrets it, and she's like, "No, it's fine. I love it." And it made me uncomfortable just doing it.
You executed beautifully.
Thank you so much. And oh my God, Joni is Bridget.
Joni is
Dun
Bridget.
dun dun.
And fucking kidnaps Sully. I wasn't ready for that.
Kidnaps Baby Diabeetus.
Baby Diabeetus without her meds.
Yeah.
And heads over to the cabin. Everyone talks about this cabin. Is it Ferrell's and Wiig's cabin?
Okay. Well, I want to get that. I've got that in my notes.
Because I was very confused by it.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, Will calls the cops. He's fucking losing his shit. Hot cop questions them, and he's like, and Will's got something to hide at this point because he hasn't, told
She hasn't told
Kristen
fucking Wiig about this little
tryst.
Mm-hmm.
And then they see a pic of the actual Bridget Gibson, and he's like,
yeah, because the cops like this one, right?
And then they were like, no, look, this is her, and they're like, no, it's not.
That's not
and
her.
Then I feel like Kristen Wiig's character was too calm at this point, because at that point I would have been like,
that's when you
where my baby at?
Right.
And then
that's
just me.
Fierce mama bear hadn't quite kicked in for her yet.
And I live on that edge as a general daily basis. I'm ready to go into mama bear mode at any moment. So we find out Will's emailing the adoption lady over and over. She's not responding.
Right. MIA.
And then we find out
she's MI gone.
In the arms of an angel,
Beautiful.
Thank you.
We should get awards for this episode.
I think so. I think this is going to be...
This is going to take us to the podcast.
Can we win an Academy?
So, Ferrell's up against the ropes, and he's got to come clean.
Mm-hmm.
And he does. He tells Wiig about his binging, his crazy blackouts, and how he definitely met Joni before. And he definitely fucked her. And again, to back you up here, Wiig takes this with immense stride.
Yeah.
She's like, what, do you want a divorce or something? Like, she has some, not snazzy or snappy, but like, we're going to work through this.
Right.
Like, she was like, if you think I want a divorce because you had sex with another woman, then you have low expectations of
Another
me,
thing coming, pal.
or you underestimated me.
Hmm.
She was like, because what I care about is our baby. And I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah, that was
She don't care
crazy.
where your days be on.
Just get a checkup.
Because I don't want it. So yeah, she super keeps her shit together. She's pissed
Understandably.
because he's entirely responsible for
But he
putting
handles it
them
far
in
better
this.
than I probably would.
Way better. Way better. I would have like physical altercation.
Yeah, I'm the jealous type. So then the next situation is Charlie. He's back to get some fucking coffee. What does he
Charlie and his
see?
Javas.
He loves them. He sees old boy again in the truck. Oh, no. You know what? I'm a liar. He went to the cops because he was talking about, like, I saw Bridget having a fight with
Altercation.
this dude. And they're like, why didn't you tell them? And he was like, I just didn't. It's not
I'm
really my
not supposed to
business.
know.
Like,
yeah.
he sees old boy, decides to follow him. And then he calls Kristen Wiig and he was like, going to a cabin in the woods, like / lake, whatever he says. And I was like, how does he know? So the cabin was so like shitty, I didn't feel like it belonged
Right.
to them because at one point they refer
Just, like,
to it as like
disheveled.
the Benson Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was very weird. Kind of like everybody was like, "Oh, this
The
cabin."
cabin.
Yeah, it's like, well, whose cabin?
What
Is it
cabin?
the town's
There's
cabin?
gotta be lots
Like,
of cabins near the
yeah,
lake.
probably. Like
I
a
don't
popular
know
spot.
a lot about lakes or
No.
cabins,
If I
but
put 2 and 2 together.
there's more than one, right?
Yeah. Oh, then I just have adoption lady dead. Oh shit. I don't know if she. I don't think we ever like figured this out. Did she drug the little girl when she was like passed out and they lay her down in the bed and she's like, I'm gonna handle this in the morning or whatever she says to her.
I don't recall
I think
that
it's kind of
specific.
up for
Yeah,
interpretation.
I've got that Joni is chilling at the cabin with Pacey and the kid,
Mm-hmm.
and the kid's getting really sick,
Yep.
and they want to give her candy.
Which we
is a
have learned
death
that's
sentence.
that's the diabetes that like you with her like you don't do that, like you don't try to like get her blood sugar back up, like it's not
Right.
And then old girl takes off the belly and she dressed like she's got her little booty shorts on and she looking
Yeah,
like a
the
bad
next
bitch
day
and
she's Jonied out.
yeah.
She is no longer trying to be Bridget. And
Mhm.
even Sully's like, what's up with your outfit? She's real sick right now. She
Yeah.
can barely talk.
She's like, I hate everything. Why do you look like that?
And Charlie shows up, but Bridget has Pacey shoot him.
Which we did not think
I
was gonna
wasn't
happen.
ready
I was
for
not ready for
Charlie to
Charlie.
bite
No.
it.
I may have not loved his character, but my God, I didn't want him dead.
No, he's gone forever. Death is forever. So we're coming up to the climax.
Yes. So Bridget goes and she rents a boat, real sketchy, and the guy's like,
That
whole
scene was
exchange
so
is hilarious.
He's like closed for the day, and she's like, "No, you're not." And they have this
And he's
weird.
like, all right, you hot. All right.
He's like, "Whatever," and she's like paddling.
And then she like rolls up to Kristen and Will's house. She
Yep.
attacks Kristen and she's like, I'm her mom now. And then she's like, me and Robert and Sully are gonna fucking live happily ever after.
and she
she's-
gets the better of Wig.
Yeah, Wig fights, but then
Yeah.
she ends up like besting her.
Yeah.
And then she leaves her and she's like, oh, like people are gonna think it's a suicide because she puts her back in her car in the garage, keeps the car running. But it's like, you've left the scene of a struggle behind, so clearly nobody's gonna think she fucking.
But
killed herself.
also, she is not gonna. I guess the thought was, you're passed out. This will kill you when you're asleep. You'll
Right.
never wake up
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
But seemed a little flimsy.
Dumb bitch squad. She goes in the house. She has this thing with Will Ferrell, and she shoots him.
Yeah.
Did you get to see the hilarious blood going from his arm when he's laying on the floor?
No.
Oh my God.
I missed it.
It's such a ridiculous amount. And every time they pan back to him, it's like fresh for a second, and it's just like drill. And I know I loved it. And like the way that they have them splayed out on the floor, both of them, like when Kristen was passed out, when he'd gotten shot.
Joni's gone full crazy and is like basically like Ferrell, you and I are meant to be. You and I and Sully are gonna go be a family, and who fucking needs Kristen Wiig? I'm taking care of that. And he's like, no,
Not a thing.
no, crazy. And when she realizes that he's not gonna go for it, she's like, okay, boom,
Pop,
boom. And then what's the new plan?
She's gonna go back and she's gonna just be her mom by
She's
herself.
just gonna kidnap Sully forever.
Yeah.
What
Give
a
her candy
weird
bars to keep her
plan.
diabetes in check.
Like, I want this guy so bad. Oh, I can't have him. I'll just take his kid.
That's fine.
I wouldn't want anything to do with any of these people
No.
if he had shunned my love.
Tarib.
My crazy, crazy, super hot love.
So she goes back to the cabin. She and Pacey like get into it. And what
They're
does she do?
fighting. She shoots him, right?
And he like grabs the kid and is like, "What are you gonna do? Shoot her?" And the little girl's kind of like, "I don't know who I should trust," but she kind of puts her arm around him, like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go with this guy because you seem like a crazy lady."
Bang, bang,
And then she's just
motherfucker.
like, "Pop, yeah." And then she's like, "Come on, kid," and she takes the truck. And then Will Ferrell decides to hop a boat.
He's rope. No, his
got
had a motor.
Yeah, his had a motor.
And
And then he like climbs like a pseudo like small mountain like to get up from the river.
But this is genius because I thought he was going to the cabin.
So he's going to stand in the road and stop her.
Go stand in the middle of the road, the only road out of town, I suppose. And
it's a small town they live in. It is very cute and idyllic.
It is super
adorable.
cute. I'd love to go visit. I'll buy some of those weird baked goods with honey.
Yeah.
For sure. So he's standing in the middle of the road. The kid sees him. She sees him. And she's like, "Hey, I'm going to kill your dad."
The little girl's like, "No, you're not." And she takes the wheel and crashes them.
Mm-hmm. Sully takes control.
Yeah.
Just like Jesus.
I also say much like the Sully that did that plane situation. That Tom Hanks
Sully
played.
flipped the truck upside down and landed in the river. It was a miracle. That they crash. Joni's all pissed and crazy. And then
She and Will have a word standoff with the kid.
and she's like, let the kid come to me or I'll kill you both. And so Will Ferrell's like, you got to do what she says, but then does a little whisper.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's all dramatic as she slowly walks towards her. And then she beams it over the bridge.
She jumps off the bridge into the water.
That was such a great shot, too, because it was clearly a, 30-year-old stunt actress. It made the biggest fucking splash in the world. Like, you dropped a boulder in there.
And so then he jumps in.
She's firing at him.
Yeah.
Both
Terrible
of them.
shot.
They swim onto the boat. Thank God he really planned this out carefully. And they're in the boat, but he can't get it to crank. And she's over the bridge.
Just taking her time, just really aiming, aiming
she's
hard.
running out of bullets. She's got to aim more carefully, Snowy, because she's wasted so many. And so right before she takes the killing shot,
you hear pop.
Pow!
Who is it?
Is Wiig to the rescue. All dramatic.
Coming in hot.
Bloody and just breathing hard and
And then it's the best fall over of that. She falls over the bridge and you see her heeled skank shoes last, and then you see her multicolored hair bobbing in the water, and then Will's holding the kid.
Yeah.
And then Kristen, they pan back up to her and she's like
glorious. Mwah, chef's kiss.
Then we go to 6 months later. And
everyone's pretty happy.
So in the beginning of the movie, one of their friends says, talking about Robert, he's like, "I remember when he used to be the guy that would, dance to goofy songs in the kitchen and blah, blah, blah." Well, so Kristen Wiig, she's baking like she does, and there's some song on. It's a nondescript song. Nobody has ever heard this song before.
First, we see Sully in the yard riding her little bike
without training wheels.
No training wheels.
Apparently, he's loosened up quite a bit.
Yeah, this experience really has turned it around for him.
Yeah.
And a song that they love comes on.
And they start dancing as a family. And
the most glorious ending dance scene I have ever seen.
They're not dancing in tune at all.
It was like an SNL skit. It's
Yeah,
like
it
this was the only
100%
part of the
was.
movie where it was like, okay.
And they're using the spoon as a microphone, and they clearly don't know the words at all, and they're just kind of like, yeah, 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 yeah.
And it's kind of a long scene. You think it's like a good 2-3 seconds.
Oh no,
There was
it's
a good
like
20 seconds of them.
maybe, yeah, just getting it. And a couple times, I feel like Kristen Wiig made her gilly face.
Yes.
And I loved it. But they're just having a blast, and like and that's the movie ends.
That's it.
Yeah, it's
All
hilarious.
Is well. All is well in the what's their last name?
Benson.
In the Benson home. Oh boy, Snowy.
Wow.
I think we got to head right into real talk. Talk. That was a double talk for you guys.
In case you couldn't hear.
2 talk deep. I fucking loved this movie.
I had a great time with this movie.
I was blown away by how much fun I had with it. I was blown away by the fact that Lifetime had such awareness of themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and were happy to poke the fucking shit out of it in a fun, not over the top way. Like they just nailed it, like just right for
They
me.
did a Lifetime movie. Like they did. I mean,
They absolutely
that's
did.
what they did. They did a Lifetime movie that happened to have 2 comedic actors as the lead characters. One of them was the executive producer. By the way, this movie was shot in 15 days with a $700,000 budget.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it looked good.
Yeah.
I thought it sounded good. There wasn't a whole lot as far as soundtrack or anything like that, but
No.
it certainly wasn't anything jarring that I
No.
would have put points against it for. Those 2 actors just elevated this for me in a way that I'm not a Lifetime movie person.
No, me either.
So I
I
could
hate it.
never have withstood this.
No, if it was a regular,
If it was just
normal,
a movie we watched. If it was a Deadly Adoption with any other characters, I think that like everyone that acted in this just nailed their little part, whatever it was. Even his best friend, publisher lady, just everyone was having fun and just delivered a perfect, to me. I never need to see another Lifetime anything again. This just satiated everything I ever needed.
So unfortunately, I'll probably see good old the chick that played Joni this holiday season, because when I go to my parents' house, my mom loves fewer things more than a Lifetime or Hallmark holiday movie.
I really enjoyed this. I thought it was really fun. I loved watching it with you. I don't really have anything negative to say about this one.
No, I don't. Like, it was definitely, I feel like, different than. I guess it wasn't necessarily, but it felt so different because there was no comical parts that were intentional.
Right.
But I guess there's a lot of stuff we watch. There's not comical parts that are intentional, but they're just so bad from the jump that we're like,
And something I was looking at, it described this movie as a dark comedy, which I thought was not a good description, but I liked that they understood that it was supposed to be a comedy, even though it wasn't written as any comedy. It was just the genius of the material, the poking fun at themselves, and those 2 leads that just really brings it together for me. I don't know of another 2 comedic lead duo that I would want to see in this that would make it work as well.
Yeah, I agree. So Hot Cop, he ended up pulling Will Ferrell aside during this and is like, is this supposed to be funny? Because like it's not good. And he was like, not everybody was in on the joke. Like,
Hot Cop didn't get it.
Hot Cop
That's
was like,
all right. I'll get it.
Yeah, I bet you would.
I would get all over that Hot Cop.
It was so funny when I was like, oh, I said something about him, and you're like, I was like, he's got a hot voice. You're like, you got a hot face, you got a hot body, you got this, and I was like, whoa.
I liked what I saw.
I heard.
Anything else that we haven't
No,
covered?
I think we probably
ready for that rating.
I think we're ready for the rating.
Let's go with you, Snow.
All right. I am going to give a Deadly Adoption. I think I'm going to give it 2.5 stars.
What is funny about that is that's exactly what I'm giving it.
Really?
I teetered between a 2.53.
Me too, as did I. But I feel like the reason I'm giving it a 2.5, I don't think there's a lot of people that will not get this movie. They're just
No.
and I think it's definitely if you listen to us, you've got a comedic brain like we have.
If you could have seen what she did with her face when she said that, you would be laughing.
Fuck you.
I was impressed. I'm giving you accolades.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. But I just think there's a lot of people that won't get it, so
Can't just throw this into the general pop.
no,
That's the
absolutely
only
not.
reason.
People are
That's
stupid.
the only
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Will I watch this again with you? Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to watch this again.
And probably laugh even harder and have more things to pick out.
Way harder. Will I try to force some of my other friends to watch it? Absolutely.
Oh.
Will I be successful? Probably not. I wish they would give us more content like that, but I think this is a one and done
Yeah.
for them.
I think so. And from what I read, it seemed like Will Ferrell was like, I wanted to do this. I did it.
They
Bada bing.
did.
Yeah.
Knocked
Bada
it
bing,
out
bada
of the
boom.
park for me, for sure. So now that we have 2.5 for me, 2.5 for you, I have the right score for this time. I know you're going to think I'm not, but I've nailed it. It is a 2.5 for Real Fun Times.
Oh my God.
I took a little class over the weekend on adding, subtracting, and dividing.
3rd grade mathematics.
That's it.
Proud of you.
Also, there's a little thing on your phone called a calculator.
Ooh.
You would be surprised. From now on, I will be hard pressed not to get the right rating, Snowy. You
Proud
can
of you.
take that to the bank.
I like
Oh
it.
man, what a fun fucking movie. But this one's done, and we must move on to
Sombrero picks.
my friend. I believe it is your turn.
It is indeed. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Is it the last one we threw in?
Wiki wiki wow wow. Wiki
No
wiki
way!
wow.
Okay, Sombrero.
The sombrero wants what the sombrero
You have
wants.
spoken. I really am not mad at
I'm
it, though,
not
because I
upset.
kind of
I'm not
really want to
upset.
see that one. And what's going back in?
Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man.
Tell me about this.
Um,
Comedy? What the fuck is that? I've never
Yeah.
heard of it.
we watched a trailer a few weeks ago.
Did we really?
Yeah. I'll show it to you again.
Did I love it?
You did.
Awesome. Then I can't wait. Oh my goodness. Good people, buddies. What a great episode.
Indeed.
I gotta tell you, Snowy, I'm loving the new format.
I'm enjoying it too.
I'm hoping the people are liking
Me
it.
too.
Or will once they publish. But there's one way you could tell us.
You can do it on Facebook, on Instagram, Real Fun Times, REELFUNTIMES,
Yeah, you can find us on the social media. You can also go to our website.
realfuntimespod.com,
Shoot us an email, shoot us a message.
realfuntimespodcast@gmail.com.
You gotta rate, like, review, subscribe.
Also, do you think we could just go to the farmer's market and hand out flyers?
Oh my god! I've never handed out a flyer for anything.
Me either.
We're doing it.
Maybe. I'm just saying wiki wiki wow wow the whole time to draw people in.
And I'll go body yaddy 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 yaddy.
Perfect. We're about to be famous.
All right, guys. Have a great week and see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Real Fun Times, your favorite movie podcast.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Real Fun Times. REELFUNTIMES. Real Fun Times is produced by Drea Age, Rose Age, and Noelle Phelps. The thoughts and opinions expressed herein are solely those of the individual hosts. Nobody else's. No one's.
Real Fun Times is not affiliated with or connected to any of the motion pictures, music, or other clips played within this podcast. All movie clips and music included in this podcast are the intellectual property of the respective copyright holders. They're included here for review purposes, and absolutely no infringement is intended.
And lastly, a tip of the hat and a sincere thank you to our friend, Autopsy Summer Camp, for our rad outro music. To hear more of his offerings and collaborations, check him out on Instagram at Autopsy Summer Camp.
about yourself?
What's my weekend? Like today's my Saturday.
Oh, your
So yeah.
Saturday.
So
Saturday.
Saturday.
There's that duet.
SATURDAY. Night. That was a jam.
Amazing.
Now I want to sing Saturday night.
It's all right. We have time.
It's cool.
The people tune in for this.
Damn right you
guys?
do. It's like, please, someone's gonna write it. We need more Noel singing shit. That's
Where is the Noel singing shit?
God.